Now a special broadcast commemorating an historic occasion. In a matter of minutes, Channel 28 television will become the new WPTF-TV with a new antenna and 5 million watt signal. We take you to the TV 28 studios for simulcast coverage of this event.
Well, just before we turn on our new transmitting facility in Apex and begin what we believe to be a new era in television for the viewers of Eastern North Carolina, we want to very quickly bring you through the past year for WRDU-TV.
Durham Life Broadcasting Service began operations of TV 28 July 1st last year. The first objective was to improve the existing transmitter facility of the station. We did that by upgrading the microwave system and demanding the maximum for the transmitter you now receive us on. This was not enough. Immediately it was decided only a new, more powerful transmitter and tower located in Wake County would give us the coverage we think Eastern North Carolina deserves. Also in July, Durham Life Broadcasting Service requested the call letter change to WPTF television. Having successfully operated WPTF radio for more than half a century, the company felt, and still is convinced, the call letter change and association with such prestige would help our cause. Not content to sit back and wait for new call letters and transmitter, TV 28 decided to get into the news business, but to do it in a different and hopefully refreshing way. It was decided to give you, the viewer, a choice and began our newscast at 7:30 each weeknight on October 31st last year. Still not relaxing our efforts, TV 28 undertook the ACC football highlight program during the past season. This proved very satisfying. With the start of basketball, TV 28 scored another first when we televised the first commercial ever live women's basketball game from Reynolds Coliseum. Our news department broadcast a live 2-hour special on the Watergate aftermath, a 3-hour live special on the proposals for an expanded Raleigh-Durham airport facility, and decided to bring you some of the best on movies during the afternoon. Construction began on the new 1,700-foot above sea level tower July 5th when the first section of steel went into the air. Only today in Washington, the Federal Communications Commission gave us the green light to begin telecasting from our new transmitter and tower.
There's been much more going on during the past busy year, but nothing more important than what is about to happen right now. With that, I am happy to turn to this monitor to show you that now standing in our master control are a group of gentlemen who will do that very honor. And I'd like to have you meet Vice President and General Manager of Television 28, Doug McClarty.
Thank you very much, Woody. This is indeed a historic event for me personally, and it is my pleasure to have some very distinguished guests who made it all possible, and I'd like to introduce them now. We'll start with my leader, Carl Venners, President of Durham Life Broadcasting. Carl.
Thank you, Doug. Yes, it is a momentous occasion for us. Our staff, a great staff of people, have worked very hard over these past several years, leading up to the purchase of Channel 28 a year ago, and now the completion of the new construction of a new transmitter and tower. I want to take just a moment before I introduce our guests and before we push our button, which will actually switch from our present transmitter to our new transmitter, to perhaps bring you viewers up to date as to what we've done. This, as you see, is a map of central North Carolina. Here is Raleigh, here is Durham, and here is Chapel Hill. Presently, the tower is located just west of Chapel Hill, here. And the signal is spread over this part of central North Carolina. Now, several years ago, when this station was originally built, the state-of-the-art for UHF television, which is different from VHF television, was that it took an awful lot of power and to transmit the signal. The present transmitter you're now viewing does not have sufficient power to put the signal out over the area that we need to cover to give the people of Central and Eastern North Carolina the ability to see that NBC television station in the Durham-Raleigh market. So after purchasing the station, we were able to get approval to relocate and build a new tower just southwest of Raleigh. Here's Raleigh, and here's Apex, North Carolina. Apex, so named as the highest point in Wake County, as I understand from Mr. Upchurch. And the tower has been built here. It is 1,250 feet of steel, but it's 1,700 feet above mean sea level. And at the tower is the new transmitter, a 220,000 watt transmitter, which produces 5 million watts of effective radiated power. And we'll throw that switch in just a moment, and for you who are watching us now, your antenna is pointed really toward Chapel Hill. Some of you actually might lose the signal as we actually switch. You'll have to turn your antennas toward Apex. We'll be telling you more about that over the radio and over the television station. So if we do lose some of you, we apologize for the moment, but you'll have a better signal when you reorient your antenna. We'll gain many thousands of new viewers in just a moment. That's where it is, and we hope that you'll reorient your antenna. Now, I'd like to introduce to you the chairman of the board of Durham Life Insurance Company and the chairman of the board of Durham Life Broadcasting Company, Mr. T.A. Buddy Upchurch.
Thank you, Carl. Ladies and gentlemen, we are honored by and grateful for your being with us tonight to inaugurate a really new television station. We have a new name, new tower, and increased power. Our purpose and desire is to better serve you. We have a competent and dedicated staff who are planning and intend to make this station tops in this area. We pledge to you that we will do our best to serve you. And thank you again for being with us.
Thank you, Mr. Upchurch. Don't leave, as we're going to have you push the button in just a moment. I'd like to introduce now the president of Durham Life Insurance Company, George Womble.
Thank you, Carl. This indeed is a very meaningful time in Durham Life Insurance Company's history. We've always, as you know, been very proud of our sponsorship of WPTF. We feel that the management and the staff of WPTF, through their operations over the years, have earned the respect of our listeners to the point that the listeners feel it's their station. Certainly, I feel that this is going to be our challenge in the management and the staff of WPTF-TV to operate in such a way that this channel will be accepted as the channel of the viewers of this station. Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Womble. Well, the time has come, and we're going to throw the switch. And on behalf of our staff at WPTF AM and WQDR FM, we now switch and throw the button that will switch transmitters and will officially change from WRDU-TV to WPTF-TV. Mr. Upchurch, push the button.
Ready? Go.
At this point, for our radio listeners, the transition is being made to our new 5 million watt transmitter. Those who are watching television at this moment are seeing the WPTF-TV color bar. That is designed for people to adjust their sets. And now back to the studio.
I'm looking at a picture here in the monitor, breathing a sigh of relief as I look at Doug McClarty and Mr. Womble and Mr. Upchurch. It worked.
And as I look at the picture, the only thing I see is my bald head.
Well, we welcome thousands of new viewers that we hope that are watching us, and if not tonight, in the future, as we present this new signal to you. For our other viewers, if your signal is a little bit fuzzy, we want you to reorient your antenna toward the southwest to Apex. Now you see our new transmitter. This is the transmitter building. Our studios remain on Highway 54 near Durham. That's the transmitter, and that's the test equipment that you see on the picture. This transmitter uses water to cool the amount of heat that is radiated by the tremendous amount of energy that enters the transmitter that must go to the antenna on our tower. There's Ross Mason, one of the men who have installed this very complex facility. And we like to compliment our construction crews on the great job that they did, and our engineers and our entire staff. To explain the technical how it works aspect of this transmitter would be impossible, not only because I don't know how it really works, except that it does, and we're very proud of it, but it is very complex. The amount of energy that it takes to radiate a ultra-high frequency signal is tremendous. So there's a look at the transmitter, and we hope that you'll be looking at us, Channel 28, WPTF-TV, from now on. We're proud to be here.
Wonderful baby, living on love. The Sandman says maybe he'll take you above.
Child abuse kills at least 2,000 children a year. For more information about child abuse and how you can help, write Prevent Child Abuse, Box 2866, Chicago, Illinois, 60690. A public service message of this station, the Advertising Council, and the National Committee for Prevention of Child Abuse.
Last year, in order to help our unemployed poor, we invested $24 billion in a program that brings no money back. Welfare. And yet a $7.5 million program brought several $100 million back. That's us, the National Alliance of Businessmen. We work with business people like you to find jobs for the unemployed poor so they can become productive. If you hire, call the National Alliance of Businessmen. Help America work. A public service of this station and the Advertising Council.
Hello there, I'm Wes Parker. It's a great feeling to be a pro in any field. But I'll tell you who's a great pro in the people business. That's the YMCA. Of course, you know they've been helping kids learn things like swimming and camping, but there are other things too. Values, self-respect, and respect for others. And not only for kids, the YMCA is a place for the whole family. That's right, the whole family. The YMCA has been in the people business for 125 years. No wonder they're pros. So remember, it's your YMCA.
New beginning tonight was a welcome to many, even in Washington, D.C., as correspondent Bruce Finland reports from the nation's capital.
It had been a long struggle, but when the Federal Communications Commission gave final approval last Tuesday, Channel 28 was ready to sign on the air as WPTF-TV. On Capitol Hill, that news was more than welcome.
WPTF is like apple pie and lemonade in southeastern North Carolina because of its association with the people and news and music. I can remember as a youngster when I lived in that area listening to everything from Our Best to You to the regular news programs, and now I do when I'm in the area. I think we're very proud that WPTF television is going to be serving southeastern North Carolina, and we wish them the best of luck.
Joint ownership of TV and radio stations has been frowned upon in recent years by some Washington lawmakers, but Senator Robert Morgan says in this particular instance he wasn't worried. Senator Morgan, do you foresee any problems in operating both a TV and radio station under the same ownership?
Well, if it were almost any other station, I would, but WPTF radio has been one of the finest news stations throughout my lifetime of any station in the area. And if they do nearly as good a job with TV as they've done with their radio, it'll be a real asset to the entire area.
And we'll be following the North Carolina delegation here on Capitol Hill, as well as stories at the White House, HEW, and all around the federal bureaucracy. I'm Bruce Finland, WPTF News, Washington.
We're delighted to have had now Mr. Carl Venters, Jr., the president of Durham Life Broadcasting Service, rejoin us here on our news set. And he's been joined by a gentleman who, well, he had fingers and everything else crossed a moment ago when that button was pushed. He is our chief engineer for WPTF Television 28, Buck Perry. Buck, he's gotten some offset applause. There have been an awful lot of long hours for you and Ross Mason, your assistant, and your other members of the engineering staff. Buck, I'd like to really know your feelings at this moment.
Well, we feel pretty good right now. We put in an awful lot of work and an awful lot of long hours, and I just was reintroduced to my wife, which I appreciated, and it's nice to know that I'll be seeing her again.
Buck, we're going to have a special program in a moment, which, of course, Carl is going to trace a little bit of the history of Durham Life Broadcasting Service, and during the time that program is on, we're right now going to be supering a number we hope if people, our new viewers, aren't familiar with it, they soon will be. And that's our toll-free watch line, our people-to-people number of 1-800-672-8535. And they're going to be able to call and to ask what they might do in order to get the picture better. Carl, I think you went over it a moment ago on the map of the coverage area. They're just simply going to have to reorient their antennas, aren't they?
Yes, Woody. We do emphasize the fact that we are a UHF station. There are UHF controls on most television sets in most homes these days. But probably lots of people haven't had to use it before if they couldn't previously get our signal. So Buck here, who knows how to tell you how to do it, will answer these telephones, and we hope to be able to educate people on how to pick up our station better and in a nice way so that it'll be an easy job. Once it's done, it's over with, and you simply flick it on, and there we are. So we'll be doing that as we go on.
I do want to emphasize again that that special program is going to begin right after this newscast is completed. You'll be seeing what I think is a very interesting history, some of the real highlights of the history of North Carolina that have been covered by Durham Life Broadcasting Service. We hope you'll be calling us during that program to ask your questions at 1-800-672-8535 on how you can be sure you're getting the signal of WPTF Television 28. And throughout the broadcast day tomorrow, our sister station, WPTF Radio, will be broadcasting from our television studio. Good night.
Things sure have changed. Take a look around. Electrical appliances everywhere. Started out with Edison and his bulb and led to, well, who knows what next. Last year alone, we bought over 350 million electrical appliances. Yep, electricity. It sure plays an important role in our lives today. Use it safely, and it'll make things even better tomorrow.
Public safety message from Underwriters Laboratories and this station.
Hey, Bob, look here. The Internal Revenue folks say we can get the earned income credit again this year at tax time. Up to $400.
Well, farm workers like us can sure use the extra money.
Well, all you got to do is earn less than $8,000, meet a couple of other requirements.
Yeah, and file a tax return, too.
It'd be crazy if we didn't. Sure helped out last year.
Yeah, by the way, you seen that son of mine? I sure could use some help around here.
It is with a great deal of pleasure that WPTF Radio welcomes its new sister station, WPTF-TV, and its new 5 million watt transmitting facility and signal. Stay tuned now for a special on the history of WPTF, which will be simulcast with WPTF-TV. All of that upcoming on Full Service Radio 68, WPTF in Raleigh, North Carolina. Eastern Daylight Saving Time, 8 o'clock.